Napoleon Bonaparte was born in 1769 on the island of Corsica. From a young age, he showed an extraordinary mind for strategy and ambition beyond his small world. He studied at military schools in France, where he was often mocked for his accent and Corsican roots, but he never forgot or forgave. At 16, he became an officer in the French army, quiet and calculating, always watching, always learning. When the French Revolution erupted in 1789, chaos filled the nation. Kings fell, nobles fled, and power was up for the taking. Napoleon saw his chance. He sided with the revolutionaries and quickly proved himself in battle. At only 24, he crushed the royalist uprising in Paris with ruthless precision, earning fame overnight. Soon after, he was sent to Italy to command the French army. There, his brilliance as a strategist shone. He defeated armies larger and richer than his own, marching from victory to victory. Soldiers adored him. France hailed him as a hero. He didn't just fight wars, he reshaped them. In 1798, he led an expedition to Egypt, hoping to strike British trade routes and bring glory to France. Though his campaign failed, he returned not as a defeated general, but as a visionary. France was collapsing under weak leadership, and the people were desperate for order. In 1799, Napoleon seized power in a coup. At 30 years old, he became first consul of France. He reformed the country, rebuilt schools, stabilized the economy, rewrote laws into what became known as the Napoleonic Code, a system that still influences legal systems today. He made France powerful again, and the people loved him for it. But his ambition had no limit. In 1804, he crowned himself emperor, placing the crown on his own head before the Pope, a clear message that his power came from no one but himself. Europe trembled. Coalitions formed to stop him, but Napoleon outmaneuvered them again and again. At Austerlitz, he destroyed the combined armies of Russia and Austria, a masterpiece of military genius. He became the ruler of almost all Europe. Kings bowed, empires fell, and the name Napoleon became both fear and legend. Yet power breeds enemies and mistakes. He invaded Spain, sparking brutal resistance. Then, in 1812, he made his greatest error, invading Russia. He entered Moscow victorious, but found the city burning. Winter struck, supplies ran out, and his army of 600,000 was reduced to a few desperate survivors. The once invincible emperor had been broken by snow and hunger. One by one, his enemies rose again. In 1814, Paris fell. Napoleon abdicated and was exiled to the island of Elba, small and forgotten. But his fire never died. Less than a year later, he escaped and returned to France. The moment he stepped onto French soil, soldiers sent to arrest him joined his side instead. He marched to Paris, and the people welcomed him like a god returned. For 100 days, he ruled again, until the final reckoning at Waterloo in 1815. The battle was fierce and brutal. Rain turned the ground to mud, cannons sank, and timing failed him. The British, led by Wellington, and the Prussians, led by Blucher, crushed his army once and for all. Defeated, Napoleon surrendered. He was sent into exile once more, this time to the distant island of St. Helena in the middle of the Atlantic. No escape, no return. There, alone, he spent his final years writing his story, reflecting on his triumphs and his fall. He died in 1821, at the age of 51, far from the empire he built. But even in death, his shadow remained. His laws, his battles, his legend, all carved into history. Napoleon Bonaparte, the man who rose from nothing to command the world, and whose name still echoes as a symbol of genius, ambition, and the unstoppable will to rule destiny itself.